Welcome back. So, today we're going to do another career video on a player that I was pretty sure I'd done a career video on, according to the search I did on the channel. I have not. So, Ron Francis, known of course right now as the general manager of the Seattle Kraken, previously the general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes, makes some sense to do a video on him today after I did a video on Bobby Clarke, players who were very good players for a long time and then went on to become general managers for a long while as well. Ron Francis was drafted in 1981, 4th overall by the Hartford Whalers. And he was the face of the franchise for most of the time he was there, 81-82. In 59 games played in his rookie season, 25 goals, 43 assists, 68 points. He finished 10th in Calder voting. Impressive considering he played only 59 out of the 80 games that season. The following year, there is no sophomore jinx. 82-83 in 79 games. 31 goals, 59 assists, which is 10th overall in the NHL that year, and 90 points. And he plays in the All-Star game. So Hartford's got their star center, right? And again, he is a smart two-way forward. This is a win for them. 83-84 in 72 games played. His totals dropped. 23 goals, 40 assists for 63 points. So a setback of a season for Ron Francis. But he wouldn't stay down for long. And again, because he was good defensively and a good two-way forward, even when he's not scoring, he's still useful. 84-85 in 80 games played, 24 goals, 57 assists, 81 points. And he plays in his second All-Star game in his 4th season. So again, Francis, nice bounce-back season for him. Really reliable scoring. 85-86, he only plays 53 games that year. But, boy, does he make it count. 24 goals, 53 assists for 77 points. He finished 10th in Hart voting that year and playoff debut. 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points in 10 playoff games as the Whalers got out of the first round. And so some optimism now for Hartford. But the rest of the time that Francis is there, Hartford struggles in those playoffs. 86-87, 75 games played. He sets a new career high with 63 assists, which is 5th overall, to go with 30 goals, total of 93 points. So not that far off from 100 points. He would get there before his career's done. In 6 playoff games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. He was 9th in Hart voting that year. So he's top 10 in Hart voting back-to-back years. Things are looking good for Hartford. They just need a playoff run. 87-88 first. 80 games played, 25 goals, 50 assists, 75 points. Again, right around point per game. In 6 playoff games, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. Then in 88-89, 69 games played, 29 goals, 48 assists for 77 points. In 4 playoff games, he records 2 assists. But 89-90, he finally reaches that 100-point mark. In 80 games, 32 goals, 69 assists, which is 7th overall in the NHL. 101 points, which now, of course, would be top 10. Back then, not so much. 7 games played in the playoffs, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. He finishes 5th in Selke voting that year, and he plays in the All-Star game. So again, player scores career high in points, and all of a sudden he's top 5 in Selke. Sure, why not? So 90-91, what would prove to be his final year in Hartford. 67 games, 21 goals, 55 assists, 76 points. And then it happens. March 4th, he's traded with Grant Jennings, along with Ulf Samuelsson, of course, in exchange for John Cullen, Jeff Parker, and Zarli Zalapski. A trade that initially looked like it should benefit both. John Cullen, an up-and-coming center with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it looked like he'd replace the scoring that was being taken away with Francis. And again, a younger player, right? So Francis in Pittsburgh after the trade in 14 games, 2 goals, 9 assists. Now the combined assist total between Hartford and Pittsburgh is 64. That was 10th overall in the NHL. He also had the 11 points in those 14 games, thanks to the 2 goals, 9 assists. In the playoffs, 24 games played, 7 goals, 10 assists, 17 points, and a Stanley Cup. There were comments definitely in 90. I remember some comments, but Francis, maybe he's not able to get the Whalers over the top. The Whalers might want to rethink this and look in another direction. And then Francis goes to Pittsburgh and wins the Stanley Cup right away. Now, it helps. You're on a team with guys like Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr and others, but the reality is he gets his cup there. 91-92. The offense drops off. Pittsburgh doesn't need Ron Francis to go out there and score 90, 100 points. They have players that can do that. Francis's role that year was really to play the shutdown two-way role. In 70 games, he has 21 goals, 33 assists, 54 points. In the playoffs, however, the scoring amps up. 21 games, 8 goals, 19 assists, 27 points, and a second straight Stanley Cup. 92-93, it feels like the role had to have changed here because in 84 games, 24 goals, 76 assists, which was 9th overall, 100 points. And that's what a difference the season can make. He almost doubled his point total from the season before. Only 12 games played that year, 6 goals, 11 assists, 17 points. So his points total in 12 games is fantastic. He was 6th in Selke voting that year. 93-94, 82 games played, 27 goals, 66 assists, which is 9th that year. 93 points. In 6 playoff games, he records 2 assists. He is 6th in voting for the Selke Trophy again. Then in 94-95, lockout shortened season, so he only plays 44 games that year. 11 goals, 48 assists, which is 1st overall in the NHL. 59 points, which is 5th overall in the NHL. And this is the first time he's top 10 in scoring in the NHL, which is a surprise to me. In the playoffs, he adds 6 goals, 13 assists for 19 points in 12 games. He wins the Selke Trophy, and he wins the Lady Byng Trophy as well for gentlemanly play. 95-96, 77 games played, 27 goals, 92 assists, which is 1st overall in the NHL that year, along with 119 points, being 4th overall in the NHL that year. In the playoffs, he adds 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points in 11 games. He was 2nd in Selke voting and played in the All-Star game. So 92 assists isn't bad, right? That's pretty good. Pretty good season. What do you tell the guy in the exit interview? So 92 assists is good. We'll see you again next year. All right. Thanks, Ron. 96-97. I mean, how do you critique a guy's season when they have 92 assists? 96-97, those totals drop off because they have to. They're ridiculous. In 81 games, 27 goals, so that stays consistent. 63 assists, which is 3rd overall in the NHL. 90 points, which is 8th overall. So 96-97, 90 points gets you 8th overall. 89-90, 101 points doesn't get you into the top 10. So this is how you know you're into the era where the puck wasn't going in the net as much. It's known as dead puck era. In the playoffs, a goal and 2 assists for 3 points in 5 games. He finished 8th in Selke voting that year. 97-98. 81 games played, 25 goals, 62 assists, which is 4th overall in the NHL. 87 points, which is 5th overall in the NHL. So again, this shows scoring coming down. In the playoffs, he adds a goal, 5 assists for 6 points in 6 games. Finished 4th in Selke voting, but he won the Lady Byng. So that's his 2nd Lady Byng trophy, and he's been in the running for the Selke a bunch of times, but he goes to market. So 1998, he signs July 13th as an unrestricted free agent with the organization he started out with, except now they're the Carolina Hurricanes. So he goes from the Whalers to the Penguins and then kind of back to the Whalers, but Canes because the Whalers are gone. 98-99, 82 games, 21 goals, 31 assists, 52 points. So he's not going to be playing with the same line mates in Carolina that he was in Pittsburgh. So his assists dropped by half. His goals only dropped by 4. In the playoffs, he adds an assist in 3 games. 99-2000, 78 games played, 23 goals, 50 assists, which is 10th overall in the NHL that year, 73 points, no playoffs. 2000-2001, 82 games played, 15 goals, so the goal scoring dropped off there. 50 assists for 65 points. He had no points in 3 playoff games that spring. Then 01-02, a big year for Carolina here. 80 games, 27 goals, 50 assists, which is 4th overall. 77 assists, which is 9th overall. Or 77 points, I should say, which is 9th overall in the NHL. That 50 assists being 4th overall. In the playoffs, 23 games. Carolina goes all the way to the final. And Francis had 6 goals and 10 assists. You know I was cheering for them in the 2002 final. And doing so in vain. He wins the Lady Byng, and he wins the King Clancy Trophy for leadership. So his trophy case was growing to that point. Then in 02-03, 82 games played, 22 goals, 35 assists, 57 points. A lot of 20-goal seasons for Ron Francis. Some 30-goal seasons as well. But of course, the helpers are what really put him in the Hall of Fame. And then 03-04, what would prove to be his final season. The scoring really drops off that year in 68 games with the Carolina Hurricanes. 10 goals, 20 assists, 30 points. And then at the trade deadline, a trade is made. March 9th, he's traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs in exchange for a 2005 fourth, which was traded to Columbus, and they used it to draft Jared Ball. So Jared Ball ends up going to Columbus, and Francis ends up going to Toronto, and Carolina probably watching to see what's going to happen with Toronto in those playoffs, because Francis, you know, an all-time hero there. 12 games in his time with Toronto in the regular season, 3 goals, 7 assists for 10 points, and then in 12 playoff games, he recorded 4 assists. After the lockout took out the 04-05 season, he actually retired September 14th of 2005. As most NHLers were getting ramped up for the 05-06 season, Francis decided to hang them up instead. And he played 1,731 games in his career, which currently stands 4th all-time. 549 goals, which is 29th overall. And remarkable considering he didn't have a 50-goal season in here. 1,249 assists, which is second on the all-time list. 1,798 points, which is 5th on the all-time list. In 171 playoff games, 46 goals, 97 assists for 143 points. He would be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame 2007, his first year eligible, and I don't think anybody would argue with that. But there you go, the career of Ron Francis. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.